for this question, we have to prove that the left side of the equal sign is equal to the right side of the equal sign. I always recommend that students put these questions into terms of sine and cosine. So we have secant squared theta and cosecant squared theta. Those will need to be replaced with sine and cosine. So let's go over to our trig identity sheet and find out what those are. So we have cosecant theta is equal to 1 over sine theta. And we have secant theta is equal to 1 over cosine theta. The same thing goes for cosecant squared theta is just simply 1 over sine squared theta. And the same would go for the 1 over cosine as well. So we'll clean this up. And we'll go back to the proof. Okay, so we said that 1 over secant squared theta would be equal to 1 over cosine squared theta plus 1 over sine squared theta. And that's equal to our right side, which is 1. We haven't touched that. Okay, let me just pause here and show you guys a quick algebra trick that are really helpful in these proofs. Use a different color. If you have A over B all over C over D, what you can do is you can take the outside numbers, A and D, multiply those together, and you'll get AD as your numerator. Take the inside terms, B and C, multiply those together, and you'll get BC. So it's a very quick way that you can go from here to here. A over B all over C over D. Very quickly we can go to AD over BC. To use a numeric example, let's say we have 1 over 4 over 1 over 8. That can be simplified to 1 multiplied by 8 for the numerator over 4 multiplied by 1 for the denominator, which is 4, simplifies to 2. Don't believe me? Plug that in your calculator. Have a look for yourself. Okay, so apologies if you already knew that little trick. I find it very helpful. Students find it incredibly helpful. And we're going to use it right now. Now, we only have 3 numbers here, though. We have a 1, and a cosine. In the example I just showed you, there was 4. So what can we do? Well, technically, this 1 on the numerator is over 1. So is this one, over 1. So the outside terms, I'll use a different color. The outside terms, 1 multiplied by cosine squared theta, and which would be, of course, cosine squared theta. And the inside terms, which is 1 multiplied by 1, as the denominator, which is 1. On this side, we have 1 multiplied by sine squared theta and 1 multiplied by 1 as the denominator. So when we write that out, it's simply sine squared theta over 1. And that equals our right side, which is 1. Okay, so it's a quick little algebra trick to simplify equations. Because these denominators are the same, and they're both 1s, we can collect like terms, and we can write this as cosine squared theta plus sine squared theta equals 1. Now, some alarms should be going off when you see this expression, because it's a very popular identity. Cosine squared theta plus sine squared theta is shown here. Sine squared theta plus cosine squared theta is equal to 1. So we're going to make that substitution for our final step. We said that cosine squared theta plus sine squared theta equals 1. So there you go. There's the final substitution. 1 equals 1. Our left side equals our right side. And that's your final answer. I'll zoom out, and you can pause this if you want to see the question in its entirety with the little algebra trick there.